following Earth's history and the people of God, through the book of Job. The story of Job depicts what will be the experience of end-time saints. In his experience we are given a prophetic picture of the faithful, in the end times. Although his book is not a prophetic book like Daniel and Revelation, yet still it contains prophetic references that can be connected to events that took place before and after the time of Job. These prophetic references trace God's people and Earth's history from the rebellion of Lucifer to the end times. The historical and prophetic references combined, give a summary of the story of redemption. In this study, we see through the book of Job and Job's experience, how God's people, the Israelite, got carried away to Babylon. Job 1:17 records some of the losses that Job experienced, and it is here that we see the captivity of the Israelites illustrated. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, the Chaldeans, later known as the Babylonians, made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Before the Israelites entered the promised land they were warned, not to practice the sins of the pagan nations, or else God would drive them out captives, of the nations they lost after. Due to their continued disobedience, they were taken captives by the Babylonians. It is interesting that the Hebrew word used in Jeremiah 25 to describe the spoils of Judah being taken into Babylonian, Lach, is the same word used in Job when describing the Chaldeans stealing Job's camels. This had a future application to the Babylonian captivity of Israel. We are told in Jeremiah 25, moreover I will deliver all the strength of this city, and all the labors thereof, and all the precious things thereof, and all the treasures of the kings of Judah will I give into the hand of their enemies, which shall spoil them, and take, lash them, and carry them to Babylon. In Jeremiah chapter 13, we are given the same warning of the Babylonian captivity, but this time the people are called the Lord's flock. This is a fitting parallel to Job's camels being carried away by the Chaldeans. But if ye will not hear it, my soul shall weep in secret places for your pride, and mine eyes shall weep sore, and run down with tears, because the Lord's flock is carried away captive. The cities of the south shall be shut up, and none shall open them. Judah shall be carried away captive, all of it, it shall be wholly carried away captive. Lift up your eyes, and behold them that come from the north, where is the flock that was given thee, thy beautiful flock? So just as Job's camels were carried away by the Chaldeans, so too they carried away God's beautiful flock. Now we are given some details about the Chaldeans that give us an idea of how they took Job's camels. Habakkuk 1:6-9. For, lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land, to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful, their judgment and their dignity shall precede it themselves. Their horses also are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves, and their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far, they shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat. They shall come all for violence, their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. Here in Habakkuk it is said that the Chaldeans' horsemen will spread themselves or divide themselves when they attack. In Job a similar statement is made of the Chaldeans. It is said that they divided themselves into 3 bands. The Chaldeans made out 3 bands, and fell upon the camels. Although Job did not commit the sins of the children of Israel, his inheritance and his blessings from God were devoured by enemies and the destruction of the devil. He lost flocks, sons and daughters as professed of Israel by Jeremiah. For shame hath devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth, their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters. We lie down in our shame, and our confusion covereth us, for we have sinned against the Lord our God, we and our fathers, from our youth even unto this day, and have not obeyed the voice of the Lord our God. Job 1 verses 18-19 tells us, while he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And, behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Job, who lived long before Israel was a nation, experienced losses as a testimony of what would be the punishment of this rebellious nation. The words of this faithful man would later be the reality of an unfaithful people. Job 16 verse 11. God hath delivered me to the ungodly and turned me over into the hands of the wicked. The Lord doesn't enjoy the suffering of his people, but he sometimes allows what he hates to accomplish what he loves.